Okay, people, it's Anatomy Week. And look at this, I've replaced the pencil in here because the pencil was too short, so I replaced it. So now I studied anatomy because simplified anatomy is not working for me anymore. So I decided to study the parts, the muscles, the bones. And before I started studying, I decided to draw some first because, let's say in the past 2 months, I've decided to learn simplified anatomy. And I did, like the basic shapes, but those basic shapes, if you tilt them, it's tricky because there's different muscles, there's different bones included. So now I'll show you the first one, the first drawings that I've done. And the first drawings are, you can think of them as test subjects to see what level my anatomy is. I'll show you the first. It's this one's. See, this is the architecture week. Now let's move to the anatomy. So this is the first drawings. And the tutorials that I've watched for anatomy is mashing in this. That's why you see like many lines in here, because I'm trying to determine whether this part ends here, does this part starts here. Quite tricky, especially if you don't know anatomy. And there's one more. I'll show you the one more pose that I decided to draw. Okay, it's this one. And I was using, pen straightly in here, no pencils. The same with the other two in the back page of this. And it's really tricky drawing anatomy without knowing the muscles. So I decided it's about time I learn the muscles. Now moving on. I decided to learn parts by part. So I started off with the arms. See that? This is where I started really learning the parts, the muscles, and how they are curved. And there's more here in the next page. I'll show it to you. Here, what I do is I'll draw a detailed one with detailed muscles, and I'll try to break it down into shapes, into simple shapes, so I can establish an outline when drawing the muscles. Now moving on from the arms, the next one would be, any guesses? People? Guys? It's this one. It's legs. Now, for legs, I'm experimenting with the shapes, on what shapes I can fit with the legs, because of the different group of muscles in there. You can see there's like the back view, there's the front view, and there's the different muscle parts. And on the next page here, there's the side view, and there's an angled view. And you can see like how I'm trying to structure it with more simpler shapes, so I don't get lost with the details. Okay, now moving on. Any guesses again on what's the next body part we're covering? It's the torso and the pelvis. This is the rib cage. These two, male, female. They look like caterpillars. The drawing, I'm trying to establish here on how it's shaped, on how the muscles are connected to each other. And this is the part where I learned the jelly bean peanut method. It's basically two spheres connected to each other, and I draw some pelvis in here with shadows, so there can be an establishment on where the legs begin. Now, I've actually reached the last page of this sketchbook. Now we'll move on to the new sketchbook. Now the front part is here, the legs, the arms. Now moving on. Oh wait, there we go. Now this is the new sketchbook. It looks the same, right? Now, this sketchbook, the pages here are much thinner. They're much more thinner than the other one. We'll start with the back. And as you can see here, I'm labeling the back muscles. And the jelly bean method, the peanut method, it still works in here. Now this is the simplified version of it, which works because now I can put the different muscles in the respective areas. Then some little posture in here. Now this is for back. Now there's one more body part, and I've actually drawn that body part before. If you watch my first drawing video in here, the 30-day drawing video, you've seen some of those, but I decided to dig in and study more about it. Well, it's feet. See that? It's feet. And what I did with this is that first I drew this, labeled it, then the reference I was using, I mirrored it, then draw another one. Then I decided to look at some simplified pictures of feet, and this is for the feet. Now moving on, with the parts I've shown, I decided to combine them now. It's about time we combine them. It's about time I combine them. Now these are the 7 drawings. What I did with this is that I used the drawings I've had done in this anatomy study as references, and I decided, well, to combine them now. And look at this. There are some proportion adjustments that needs to be done with this, but I can structure them now, which is an improvement as opposed to back then where I'm guessing what happens if I tilt this part because, well, for example, this, I used to draw this as a cylinder. Well, if you tilt the cylinder, it's still a cylinder, but this one, it's a cylinder connected with this round part. So if you tilt it, there's some change that's going to happen. And this is it. For this video, this is it. I'm still not done with anatomy. There's still 2 parts that needs to be learned. The hands and the skull. Faces and hands are one of the first things that I decided to learn when I started drawing 2 months ago. The next one are muscles and skeletal structure of the hands, then the skull. What I didn't focus in this anatomy study is the collarbone, on how the collarbone actually designated in its place. So that's another adjustment and improvement that I need to make. The collarbone, the face, the skull, and the hands. Although I know how to draw hands, more knowledge about its anatomy would really help me. It's like leveling up. Imagine video games, right? You have the same skill, but you level it up and then it changes. That's the same with this. Simplified anatomy, it's not really working for me. So this is for the anatomy study part 1, and this is it for this week. Thank you guys for watching this video. Subscribe. See you next week. See you in the next video. See you in part 2. And as always, Striker logging out.